Welcome to Tips to Empower Yourself to Write Your Book because you have all you need right now. Hello, Sigrid Cast here, high impact, high profit book writing, publishing, and marketing specialist. And in this live today, I want to talk to you about empowering yourself. It's so easy to talk about empowerment and empowering in general, and sometimes we kind of forget what does it actually really mean. So let's have a look at it's the process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling our life and claiming our rights in our life. So putting that in top of mind around book writing. Loads of people have great ideas writing. Some people, quite a lot of people, have a fear of getting started or actually getting finished. They might get started, but then they don't finish. There's somewhere a hidden fear. And then there are those people who just get started and just write, and then they stop because they don't know what the next step is. So variations of all of that. What goes into empowering yourself is really what I want to talk about today. I have compared it a little bit to selecting an outfit that feels comfortable, that is authentically you, not someone else wants you to, is expecting you to, but authentically being you with what you're choosing in your outfit. And of course, you want to project confidence. And writing your book demands very similar steps or a similar approach to that. You want to be comfortable with what you are writing about. And of course, you want to be comfortable with how your book is going to be received. You want to be authentically you. And that can be sometimes a kind of a barrier when you might think, I might not be good enough in writing, or my style, I don't know how to, what style to use. I'm not quite sure. Like myself, for example, English might be your second language. Does that matter? Can you still be authentically you and yet create a good book? And of course, that confidence goes with all of that. You've got to have that confidence to get started and put your finished book out there. You've got to have that confidence, most of all, in my experience, to ask for help. Not just any help, and I've written about this in other articles and newsletters and even done videos on this. It's the best help for you and knowing what help is out there and how to weigh up which is the best help for you. So there are a number of elements in that entire journey to getting your book out there. But to empower yourself, first of all, let's have a look at a couple of areas in that. And let me draw you first of all to these two main areas to go about empowering yourself and why you have what it takes to get started, to get your book out there, because you do really have what you need right now. So let's have a look what it takes. Uniqueness. You are unique. Now, there are two ways to look at that. Some people think, yes, I am very unique. I have this very unique story to tell. And here's what I can tell you. There was a post asking for people, for women in particular, to write their story. And each one on this particular post that answered, and here's what happened. There was actually over 500 answers to this post. People saying, women saying, unique, I've got this unique story, I've experienced this, I want to talk about this. But ultimately, when you were going through all of those post comments, you saw that really each one had very similar experiences. Yes, unique each one to them, but the way they describe it was overcoming trauma, overcoming hardship, overcoming very difficult childhood. So the most pronounced uniqueness was that came through in what they were answering was around overcoming some hurdles in their life. Now, when you just scroll through answers on a post like that, you think, well, I wonder what really is unique here, because they all seem to have similar experiences around hardship. Of course, the difference there is that each one had a unique experience. Now, the key is going to be to really dig into what this uniqueness was without taking the reader into a storyline or into a very deep and perhaps kind of meaningful, sad area of your life. So you would need to look beyond that before you get started. To empower, just to share such a story, I understand that it can be difficult, but lots of people do feel that, and they think, yes, we are unique. And then they miss that little point of, what is it here that's unique? Not that hurdle that you overcame, but the lesson you learned from it. So that's a bit different. Looking at what the lesson is, and this is where each person would have learned a different lesson, a unique lesson. When we now look at the other side to being unique, when people say, well, I don't really know if I am so unique, and there certainly are women in particular who think, well, am I really unique? Is my story unique? How do I bring that out there? How do I even know it is unique? And again, this is where you can empower yourself to look beyond that initial idea. Am I unique? Am I not unique? What is it really that I can contribute? Look beyond that and look at what is it that I have that others want to know about? What is it you have others want to know about? That needs to go into your book. And empowering yourself, you have what it takes. You have knowledge. You are in business. And I particularly or predominantly work with women in business, women entrepreneurs who do have that story, how they got to be in business, how they experienced the path to having their own business, opening their own business. That knowledge, the journey that took you there, what was happening to you, what did you take care of, what did you have to push out of the way to get to where you are, all of that is very unique to you, and you have that knowledge to share. You have that experience of your own way of how you use what you do in your business. You might be a coach, particularly. Coaches often have a very unique approach, and yet so many women use in their description of themselves and in their description of their coaching direction very similar, if not exactly the same wording: executive coaching, coaching women, executive leaders. That is an umbrella term. Everybody uses that. That then is not unique. So then we need to look at your own experience coming to that, and what is the unique approach that you have. Yes, it might be focusing on executives or executive coaching or coaching women leaders to be in that as an executive position with more power and direction. But how do we that now describe in what words? Looking back at what I just said a moment ago, what is it you have that others would like to know about or would like to have as well, that you can give them, that you can teach them, that you can share? and of course the expertise that you have acquired over the time in business, however long you are in business. And often women that I work with are already in a fairly supported and well set stage of their business. So they're not necessarily at the very start. Although you can certainly write a book when you are starting your business and use your book to really get your business up and running to attract clients. So what is the empowering component that I would like to share with you that is so critical in the way I see writing a book to become the leader around your topic, the leader of what makes you unique, the leader in your area of expertise? The key element is that clarity. You really are empowering yourself, giving yourself that piece of power, or bringing that piece of power, that power out of yourself when you are clear on what you want to achieve with your book. You see, you have a story. We want to look at that as a brand story. We want to look at it not in a chronological order, which is sometimes what people do when they write a book. I did this first, and that second, and this third. That's not necessarily, in fact, rarely the best way to write and share your story and your expertise. We want to think of all the experiences, the unique experiences, the people you might have met, the places you were, and then attach to those snippets of story your own personal story, to bring the two together in a very storytelling way. Now, that might be colorful and certainly wants to be direct, speaking to the reader, so that the person who reads your words feels drawn into your book and towards you. Because when you're writing a book in business, being in business, you want to show who you are, make an impact to the way of bringing people to you. You have something to offer. Yes, you have that book, but you have much more beyond that to offer. You have coaching, you have packages, you have programs you want to bring people to with your book. So the story, your story as such, you want to look at that as your brand story. What is it that you have that makes you unique, and how are you going to write about that in your book? So embracing your uniqueness is certainly important, and looking at how to bring your expertise and your experience together and attaching to experiences you've had, people you've worked with, people you've met, attaching your personal story and personal experiences to that. And there are certain ways we can do that, different ways for different people, depending on what it is you want to achieve, what that outcome is that you want to aim for by having your book. And I want to touch on one more thing that was actually quite interesting when somebody said, usually I always ask those who come to me to have a chat about their book idea. I always ask them, what is it? What is success like? Success look like? Success from your book, what does that look like? And when somebody says, most of the time this is around, I want to help people, make sure people love what I've written, make sure that they can take away some new knowledge, some ideas, a change in their life. None of those things, of course, are, from a business perspective, something you can measure. Now, if you're in business, we want to have something to measure, really, don't we? We got to measure how the business is performing. Well, it's not really a business. So there's definitely this very practical element from business that goes and transfers into writing your unique story, your book, and elevating your own leadership in the area of your expertise and making this impact, this book to really help people and share what you have. Great, but we do want to have something to measure. And so when somebody said, and this happens very rarely, when somebody says, what I really want for my books is for people to actually read them. Again, that is not necessarily something you can measure. People can buy a book and put it aside. With my very first book, I have even gifted books out there, and people came to me to be my clients, but they didn't actually read the book. They never got time to. They said, no, I just want to work with you. By having a book, I know you made the time to write down what you know. I glimpsed through it. That's all I need. I know you know what you're talking about. And that is important because that brought me business, measurable, an outcome I could measure. And I did aim to achieve that. So what am I telling you today? What is my tip here, or my tips for you today? I'm going through, or I've shared with you in this video, to empower yourself to write your book because you have all that you need right now. So empowering yourself starts with clarity. What is it you want to achieve? That gives you the power to get started. And being unique, acknowledge and look for in your experience, your knowledge, your expertise. Look in those what it is that you have to offer that people are looking for. I hope that makes sense to you. And so if you are a woman in business, a woman entrepreneur, and you're looking to stand out from the crowd and make a lasting impact with a book to your name, consider empowering and educating yourself before you jump in and start writing. One way to do this is to have a chat with me, and you can simply book a chat. I have got time in the next couple of weeks to talk to some of you. During that session to talk about, we will explore how your book idea actually aligns with your overall vision, and we'll delve into your goals. Who knows, it could be the starting point of a really great collaborative journey together to bring your book to life with my help. It's certainly an exciting opportunity for you to uncover any type of possibility that lies ahead for you by having a book. So simply book a chat with me. Sigrid de Cast, high impact, high profit, book writing, publishing, and marketing specialist.